Jim Hawkins is alone on an island of pirates, and trust is about to be broken in blood. When he stumbles onto a castaway who survived here for years, one question remains: friend or foe? Back aboard the Hispaniola, Dr. Livesey is making a decision that will change the entire voyage. Murder, mystery, and mutiny collide. Chapters 14 through 16 start now. Chapter 14. Murder on Treasure Island. Murder on Treasure Island decided to explore the strange island. It was deserted, and I spotted a few unknown plants as well as snakes. Suddenly, I heard the crew approach. I concealed myself under an oak tree and waited till the two men had seated themselves. Then I crawled towards them slowly. I could now stay hidden and overhear them. "The treasure is ours," Silver said to Tom. "How does it matter what the captain or his men think?" Suddenly a scream emerged from the marsh in the distance. "What was that?" Tom asked. "That must be Alan," Silver smiled. "So you killed him," Tom said angrily. "He was a true sailor, so may his soul rest in peace. But you are no more my mate, John Silver." "I'd rather die doing my duty, so kill me if you like. You have already done for Alan, but I defy you." Tom turned and walked away toward the beach, but suddenly stopped with a cry as a gun fired at him. As Tom fell, Silver hobbled over to him, and in a moment it was over. My head was spinning wildly as I saw Silver wipe his knife clean on the grass as if nothing had happened. Then he blew his whistle in strange, drawn-out tones, and I thought he was calling his men. Chapter 15. The Marooned Sailor. On the steeper side of the hill among the trees, I turned and saw someone or something dash behind a tree. It was shaggy and black, and I couldn't make out if it was a man or an animal. I slowly started backing off towards the beach, only to discover that the figure followed me. It was a man! I was about to shout for help when I realized that I was armed. Keeping my hand on my pistol, I walked towards the man. The man seemed afraid as he fell on his knees, put both hands together, and held them out. "Who are you?" I inquired. "My name is Ben Gunn, and I haven't spoken to another human being for 3 years, he replied. "Were you shipwrecked?" I asked. "Marooned," he said. "I've lived on oysters, berries, and goats since then. I can provide you with good food if we get aboard the ship," I stated. Ben then asked my name and shared his secret with me. "I am rich, Jim. I shall make you rich too now you have found me," he said. I had no idea what he was talking about. "Is it Flint's ship?" he asked. "No," I replied. "Flint is dead. But there are some of Flint's hands on our ship, a one-legged man," he asked. "Long John Silver?" I asked, and he nodded. "He's the cook and their leader," I replied. Ben grabbed my wrist. "Has he sent you?" he hissed. I narrated the entire story to him. "You're a good, brave lad, Jim," he exclaimed. "But you must trust me. Good old Ben Gunn is just the man to help you." "But do you think the squire would pay me £1,000 if I could help him get home?" he asked. "I'm certain he would," I replied, greatly relieving Ben Gunn. "I was in Flint's ship, the Walrus, when he buried the treasure on this island," he began his tale. "He was on the island with some men for a week while we waited on the ship. One day Flint came back to the ship alone in a small boat. The mate Billy Bones and the quartermaster Long John asked him where the treasure was, and he told them to go to the island and look for it themselves. But he said the ship would leave without them if they did. 3 years later, I happened to be near this island on another ship and decided to look for the treasure with a few mates. But after searching for 12 days, we couldn't locate Flint's treasure. My shipmates were mighty cross with me. They left me alone on this island to find the treasure all by myself and sailed away. All they left behind was a musket, a spade, and a pickaxe. So, Jim, I have been marooned here for 3 years, but now it's time to leave." "But how shall we board the ship?" I asked. "I have a small boat that I made," Ben replied. "We shall use that. What's that noise?" he exclaimed as we heard the echoes of cannons being fired. "The battle has begun!" I exclaimed and urged Ben to follow me. We ran towards the go together. We heard another cannon shot, and then I spotted the Union Jack fluttering prow in the air a quarter of a mile away. Chapter 16. The Doctor's Narrative. Leaving Ship. We set the boats ashore from the Hispaniola at 1:30 when Hunter informed us that Jim had gone to the island earlier. The squire, the captain, and I were worried about Jim's safety and ran to the deck. The place was in a mess and stinking. Silver's men on board were complaining, saying how they wanted to go ashore and have fun too. I decided to accompany Hunter to the island on a jolly boat to gather information, and we sailed toward the stockade that was specified on the chart. We were cautious and reached the stockade on top of a hill which had a spring of clear water. It was encircled by a log house that could accommodate 2 people. It didn't have a door but had a fence that was 6 feet high. The people who stood inside the log house were thus protected and could easily shoot down intruders. Suddenly I heard a loud death cry, which I immediately recognized being a doctor. I didn't want to waste time, and we immediately returned to the Hispaniola. We placed Redruth in the gallery, armed with 4 muskets and a mattress to protect himself. Then we loaded the jolly boat with food, arms, and ammunition, as well as my precious medicine chest. It was decided that the captain and the squire would stay on deck. "Mr. Hands," the captain said to the coxswain, "as you can see, we are heavily armed. If any of you try to signal your men, you shall be shot dead." The rebels thought of attacking us from the rear, but they stopped when they saw Redruth there. They were helpless as Hunter, Joyce, and I rowed ashore quickly. This time, Silver's men on the shore spotted us. As we reached, we quickly stored our supplies in the blockhouse. Then I returned to the ship, leaving Hunter and Joyce positioned in the blockhouse. Even though the rebels were greater in number, we had more arms than them. None of the rebels on the island was armed with a musket. I picked up the squire and Redruth on the jolly boat and waited for the captain to come aboard. "I'm leaving this ship," the captain spoke to the crew. "I'm speaking to Abraham Gray. I know you are a good and loyal man, so I'm offering you the chance to join us." "You have 30 seconds, Gray," the captain stated as he studied his watch. Suddenly, Abraham Gray came running towards us. "I'm with you, Captain!" he exclaimed. The 2 of them hopped onto the boat and we moved off towards Treasure Island. The stockade stands. But for how long? Blood has been spilled on Treasure Island, and the fight is far from over. Jim Hawkins is caught between loyalty and danger. Silver's crew grows more desperate by the hour, and the doctor's flag still flies over the log house, a symbol of defiance against the mutineers closing in.